that 3 months is pretty. That's pretty. I'm not saying this in a bad way, because to be honest with you, I met someone that was sort of engaged within, I think 6 or 7 months of meeting them as well. So I get it. But I look
Yeah.
back on that now and kind of go, if one of my daughters did that, I'd be like, what the crap are you
Yeah.
doing, sort of thing. So
Yeah.
what made you comfortable? Because obviously, especially when it's 3 years in the planning, it's 10 years before that of
Yeah.
nothing. What makes you comfortable to kind of jump that quickly after 3 months?
I just knew that he was a really good person. He has a really good heart. And I knew that, I think I also took responsibility for making it work. I knew that I was going to do everything it took to, there was also, in the book, you'll see, like, we went through a lot in the first couple of weeks of meeting. So his father, unfortunately, was killed in a car accident, a biking accident,
Oh,
the day after we met. So
oh
the morning,
wow.
at 8 o'clock in the morning, the following morning after we met. And so, and then he disappeared for a couple of days, and I freaked out. But anyway, we got back in touch, and we really bonded very quickly through that experience. We became really close, and I'd been through something and I lost, my first partner in a car accident, and I don't know, we became very close very quickly. And I'd been through the process of all these dates, so I knew that he was a really good one. I was like, this is, I
It's
remember
gold.
my therapist saying this to me. She says, I see so many women that only go on a few dates and they're like, oh, they think everyone's a loser out there. But she said, you've got comparative data. I have like 138. I know I found someone who's really good, and I just decided I'm going to make this work. And I remember saying that to myself, or I said it, I won't give away the whole story, but I committed that I was going to make my top priority for the rest of my life was going to be making his life amazing every single day. I remember saying that and being like, that is going to be my top priority. And whenever we had an argument, I would always think back to that commitment that I made, and like, how can I make this better? And he's the kind of person, fortunately, that does a similar thing. Like, when we have an argument, we will both reflect and try and, understand the other person's perspective, and, try and meet somewhere in the middle, suggest something, go, okay, I understand where you're going with this, and, why this is important to you. And this is where, this is why we're clashing here, and we'll try and work it out. So I think it's just, I knew that I was committed and that he was committed, and that we were done, really, and we were going to make it work. I was just so sure we were going to make it work. Even though it was going to be difficult at times, I'm sure, and it is. But, I knew we were committed and we were going to figure it. We would manage to figure it out.
How?
That's what gave me the comfort.
Yeah, and it's part of me kind of thinks what you're saying, and this is my thoughts, might be the wrong way to say it, but it almost sounds a bit old fashioned. Like, we hear so much in this day and age about, I'll go out and get mine. I know what I want. I know what works for me. And, I am man, hear me roar. I am woman, hear me roar.
Yeah.
And in days gone past, perhaps it was more like, what can I do for you? What can I do for you?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone hates that word submit, but those words were used in marriage ceremonies of the past about submitting to one another.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it's, I kind of, as you said that thing about, can you repeat that sentence about what you're going to do to make him happy every day? Is that what you said?
I said that's going to be my top priority in life. Above everything else, I'm going to make his life amazing every single day. And the every single day part was really important as well, because it's not overall, overall I'm making your life amazing. But, today I'm in a really shitty mood. It's like, no, every single day I'm going to make that commitment. And so whenever there's something that, is not amazing, I remember that commitment, and I'm like, okay, today, now, what can I do? And it works. And I don't roll over and, it's not like, I give in all the time, but because he's kind of similar, I don't think he made the same commitment, but we're both the kind of people that, work on things. And we've it's the biggest thing I learned about relationships. Going in, I was looking for smart, tall, and fun. I was looking for what I could get, whereas actually it's about giving. That's what relationships are about. They're about, what can I give to someone? And, it's almost like Christmas, giving presents is so much more satisfying than getting them. And like giving is just that's where the amazing moments and all the real rushes of love and beauty come from, is like giving.
I think I'm sure there's a ton of gold, but that thing right there, I think that's a piece of gold in this conversation about relationships, as it's more fun to give than get. And I think you're right, because and what you're talking about that commitment for every day, you're right, is so much bigger than overall. Because like if I'm shitty for 10 days of the month, but I'm nice for 20, well, overall, my partner's had a good month, but they still had a shitty 10 days.